everybody. It has been 9 months, pretty much since my last update, so I figured I would jump on here and just kind of chat it very informally. Clearly, I got a long drive, so I'm just gonna hands-free talk to you. So if I'm not staring at you, I'm so sorry. But we gotta be safe and watch the road. Anyways, it's been 9 months, and just as a quick little recap, 9 months ago, I had thoracic outlet syndrome surgery, where they took out my first rib, the scalene muscles, did neurolysis, which is cleaning of the nerve of any scar tissue buildup, and I did not have a pec minor release. So I think it's important to say that because most people do get the pec minor release as well. So before I ended up having surgery, I spent about 5 years just treating the condition very conservatively and trying to learn how to support my body with the condition in the hopes of not having surgery. So, although I did end up needing surgery, my mindset is always let's not make that our priority, like not do that first. Try all the other means first, and then when you've exhausted every option, then if surgery is necessary, then have surgery. So I still stand by that. I still think that there's so much that individuals can do to support their body, to support their mind, to move beyond the pain, to have relief. And then unfortunately in my case, I did need surgery because the muscle wasting and compression was so prolonged, and the muscle wasting became very progressive in my hand, and pretty debilitating. So there was a lot that I was unable to do when it came to my work and my home, and so it was really starting to impact, just the quality of life. So things that I did before surgery, I really worked on posture correction. I did the MELT method. I did a program called, I think it's Tune Up Fitness now with Jill Miller. I saw an osteopathic body manipulation doctor. I went to a chiropractor. I had massage. I've done cupping. I've done dry needling. You name it, it has been done. And although those were really great modalities, and I learned a lot in how to support my body and take care of my body and to really have the pain managed a lot of the time, like I said, the muscle wasting was progressive, and ultimately because of that, I ended up going back to my surgeon and saying, hey, this is what's going on. I think surgery is going to be the right step for me now. And although, some part of me is like, I wish I would have done it sooner, now knowing where I'm at, the other part of me thinks that if I didn't do it sooner, I wouldn't have all this knowledge on how to support my body physically, nutritionally, mentally, so it has a payoff in either direction. And my mentality really is whatever happens to you always happens in the perfect timing, and it truly couldn't have been more perfect. Even my surgeon, my ideal surgeon is Dr. Frischlag. She's out of the state, and so my insurance, will cover a surgeon in state, and then it would be a much bigger expense if I had to go outside of the state. So there is a thoracic outlet syndrome program at the University of Michigan, and one of the elite surgeons on that team, he's now officially changing his roles, and he didn't end up being my surgeon. He was the surgeon, Dr. Vimiri. He's the one that diagnosed me, and originally we were on track to do surgery with him, but then his life kind of happened. He had to have surgery, and he had to refer all of his patients, and he gave me two options. I had the option to go see Dr. Thompson, one of the elites, or Dr. Beaulieu, another surgeon on my surgeon's team, and he's a lot newer. And so it was a really hard decision for me, what do I do? One is fully covered by insurance, one is not, one is an elite, one is more of a newbie, and you really had to kind of weigh the odds. And I think the great thing with this is all the surgeons do it differently. All the surgeons have a different mindset, and ultimately I did go with Dr. Beaulieu, who was local. It was covered by insurance, and he was trained by Dr. Frischlag. And as soon as I learned that, it was shut the front door. This is meant to be. He is meant to be the surgeon. This surgery is going to be successful. successful for me. And I want you to listen to the words that I'm saying, because if I would have went into surgery with the mindset of, oh, this might not work, and he's not an elite, he doesn't have the experience, like, of course it's not going to be good. Like, what energy are you cultivating around an experience? And so as soon as I knew I was on path for surgery, my mind switched. I have been doing all of this to prepare to have a successful surgery, right? The words you say make a huge difference in the outcomes that you get, because that is what you end up believing and internalizing in your own body. And so, I prayed over it, I meditated over it, and I knew that he was the right one. And I think one thing that I really appreciated about him was when we had originally talked, he had told me about a mistake that he had made, and you could just see on his face, like, I'm aware that I did this, I'm never going to make that mistake again. And I think the vulnerability of the transparency allowed me to see, like, he cares. And I think because he is younger and new and not set in his ways, he is so much more tentative, I guess is the word I'm trying to say. Like, I knew I was safe with him. So anyways, I'm really grateful for Dr. Beaulieu at the University of Michigan. He did an absolute amazing job. His team was phenomenal. And it was amazing. It was kind of crazy going into the surgery room and having so many people in the room. I was like, wow, there are a lot of you. But it is a rare surgery, and it is a teaching hospital, so people got to learn. And again, if I didn't say it, it was a transaxillary approach, so they went in through my armpit. And so from surgery, I did have some, obviously numbness, loss of sensation, because they had to cut through nerves. I actually had more on the back side of my shoulder blade and my armpit than I did anywhere else. That has since, it's not fully gone, but it doesn't feel like rubber. I remember I'm like, this feels weird. You can scratch in one area and feel the scratching sensation, and then go to an area and not feel anything. It just felt like, the pressure. So that has mostly resided. I have no nerve issues. I didn't have any nerve issues after surgery like some people end up having. I've been very fortunate in my healing. I'll be honest, it is at some levels miraculous on how successful the surgery has been for me and how few of issues I've had post-surgery. Now, that being said, healing from a massive surgery is not easy. It has been one of the hardest experiences that I've went through, but also one of the most beautiful experiences that I have went through. I have got to experience, and this is my first surgery, I should mention, and I have gotten to experience the beauty of your body, regrowing tissue and repaving neural pathways. And when you think of just how amazing the body is, that it is just giving you new blood and giving you new tissue, and it is just so cool. And so again, when you get excited about all of these things, and you get excited about your healing, and you get excited about the small wins, it was by week 1 I could do this, and by week 2 I could do this, and by week 3 I could do this, and by 5 months I could work out consistently 3 days a week, very little weight, but I could still do it again. And so I think so much of everything, whether you're before surgery or after surgery, is always going to come back to mindset. I have preached this for years on this account, and I'm going to continue preaching it, because mindset is everything. It is truly everything. So yeah, that's a huge thing. I know part of my success has just been the mindset around it, and thinking of my body. Every night I will go to bed, and before surgery I did this envisioning where I would envision myself after surgery and after being healed, and all these things that I can do, being able to do lat pull downs, and being able to kayak easily and paddleboard easily without the fear of pain or a flare-up or anything like that. And so I would do these mental practices before surgery, and I still do them after surgery. And it's so cool now, 9 months after surgery, that so many of these things that I envisioned myself doing, I'm doing, and I'm doing successfully, and I'm doing it without pain, and I'm doing it without a flare-up. And I think that is just so exciting. So anyways, mindset's huge. envisioning things is huge. I will say I'm not 100% without pain. It's still, every once in a while I still have, I'm gonna call them mini flare-ups, and it's not even anything like it was before. Like I'll get some burning in my back and in my shoulders, my shoulder blade, my trap area. It's very minor. It's usually onset by a workout that I did, whether I lifted too many reps or I lifted too heavy of a weight. You know, some things that I'm mentally acknowledging that when it happens, oh, this is what I did. Okay, let's back off next week or next workout or whatever. And then the only recent one that I just had a big nerve flare. This is the biggest nerve flare I've had even before surgery. I did yoga. You guys know I love yoga. I'll get back to doing some yoga on here one day, I promise. I'm just taking care of me first. But I did plow pose, which is essentially where your legs are over your head and you're stretching your neck and your spine, but a lot of that weight is on your neck. And even my massage therapist has said, like, oh, I can really feel your bone, like, because there's, you know, the anterior scalenes are no longer there. So with that, I ended up doing the pose. I went in hesitantly. I came out just fine, slow and steady and controlled. And unfortunately, it did not like my body did not like it. And so it ended up causing a nerve flare, and it was electrical nerve pain on my arms and my chest, and it was just not good. And so luckily it only lasted the day. I was able to remedy it, and by the next day I was fine. I was completely fatigued, but that's a whole thing. So the only other thing I have to update you guys on is I do now have a condition. I have more progressive of a condition called POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. I had it before surgery, but it was undiagnosed. And then in November, I had like some big moments where my heart rate was really high, and it was just not good. So I do have an official diagnosis. It is completely managed right now. I haven't really had to do anything other than take electrolytes and just make sure I'm liberalizing salt in my diet, as my doctor says. And I'm always learning more and more about it just to support my body. But I am doing really well. I am very happy with the surgery, with my outcome, with everything that has come from this. And I know that I'm still healing. I've got a couple more years of just regrowing nerves and that connection. And I know it's gonna work out. I would do surgery again in a heartbeat. So I'm very grateful for the surgical team that I had. I'm really grateful for the community of people that prayed over me, that were just there to support and take care of me through the whole journey. And yeah, so hopefully I'll try to update you guys again. Hopefully it's not another 9 months, but if you've been here for a while, you know I'm very inconsistent. So anyways, here's your update. Thank you for checking in, and I hope you all are taking care of yourselves. I'll talk to you soon.